Save the rainforest. Have you ever heard that? What about save the coral reefs? I would imagine that half of you might not even know what a coral reef is. Coral reefs are beautiful ecosystems that thrive on diversity. Amazingly, they cover less than 2% of the ocean floor, yet contain 25% of all marine species. Personally, I have studied in the Bahamas on 5 separate occasions and have studied and researched coral reefs to be able to present to you a glimpse of the intricate ecosystems that is a coral reef. Although the coral itself is no bigger than your thumb, in most cases it is the fundamental builder of an ecosystem that we call coral reefs. Hopefully in the next few moments I will be able to explain to you what corals are exactly, the locations of corals, and the greater ecosystems that they are a part of. A corallite is part of a coral head, which is part of a coral reef. Coral reefs are comprised of hundreds of thousands of corallites. On the surface, corals have both plant and animal characteristics, but the coral itself is in fact an animal. Corals display animal characteristics during the night and plant characteristics during the day. A coral polyp is a single animal that secretes a calcareous skeleton for it to live within. It is relatively a simple creature and can be divided into 4 parts. The calcareous skeleton is in the blue, the tentacles are in the brown, and the mouth, the central mouth, is in the green. The digestive cavity is in the red. Just hold it. The tentacles of the coral polyp are lined with very specialized cells called nematocysts. These stinging cells, if you will, are used to numb prey that rub up against the tentacles. Once the prey has been paralyzed, the tentacles pull it inward towards the central mouth and into the digestive cavity. Once inside the digestive cavity, it is, you guessed it, digested. The fascinating part is that the coral has a symbiotic relationship with an algae called zooxanthellae that live inside the cells that line the digestive cavity. Waste product of digestion is consumed by the algae, and conversely, the waste product of photosynthesis is consumed by the polyp. Reef-building corals are found between the tropics and the warm, clear waters greater than 20 degrees Celsius at depths less than 100 meters. Corals are intolerant to low salinity water and also to turbidity. Corals have been found as far north as Cape Cod. However, these corals are mainly individual polyps and do not grow and build reefs like the ones that you would find in the Caribbean. The delicate balance of symbiosis that has the greatest effect on where polyps will grow. If there is too much turbidity, the zooxanthellae cannot go through photosynthesis. They won't get enough sunlight. And at depths greater than 100 meters where the sunlight cannot pass through, the relationship is again affected. Not enough sunlight can come through. The symbiotic relationship between the algae and the coral polyp is mutualistic. Waste product of digestion and respiration from the coral fuel the zooxanthellae. Likewise, the waste product of photosynthesis fuels the coral polyp. This relationship greatly increases the polyp's ability to create a calcareous structure. Together, these hundreds of thousands of polyps create a massive wave-resistant structure. This structure creates a safe haven and habitat for many species of marine organisms. There are 3 types of reefs: fringing reefs, barrier reefs, and atolls. Fringing reefs run closely parallel to the coast in shallow waters. Barrier reefs run a little bit deeper and a little bit more continuous for greater distances. Atolls are vast coral rings encircling a central lagoon. Coral reefs are the most diverse ecosystems on the planet. More species than coral reefs are contained within the coral reef than in any other ecosystem, including the rainforest, because they contain a brighter range of phyla. Even though that rainforests contain a more diverse selection of species, it's the phyla that scientists call it considered a more diverse ecosystem. I would say that the parallel of both these ecosystems share would be the vertical structures, vertical trees in the rainforest and vertical coral heads in the coral reefs. add an extra dimension that you wouldn't find in other ecosystems, which allows for greater diversity. The coral reef ecosystem is an intricate web of producers and consumers. The reef way of life is built around and rely upon the coral and their reef building ability to create a haven for all sorts of diverse marine animal and plant phyla from the harsh conditions of the sea. Therefore, you can understand that the corals are the essence of the reefs. Tiny as they may be, they are the foundations of the coral reef ecosystem. The colonies of polyps, symbiotically living within the algae, create the complex and most diverse ecosystem on planet Earth. Coral reefs can be valued and appreciated for once they are understood. Knowledge is power. Thank you for listening and learning a little bit more about the amazing ecosystems we call the coral reef. Works cited. I got most of my information from a book that I took a class with from Miami University called Tropical Marine Ecology. I also found an article online called Living Corals at marinebiology.org. Thank you.